Hey everyone, I hope you're all well and having a wonderful day. I'm back with part 2. Part 1 is the video before this and it's finally finished, my beach scene candle holder. If you're new here, I'm Jo. Welcome to my channel. I do craft videos, I do 3 a week, and I do Poundland hauls and other type of hauls. So if you're not subscribed and you like the video and you want to see more from me, then it'd be great if you subscribed. Give it a thumbs up and leave a comment. I'll always reply. If you're returning, as always, my friends, welcome back and thank you so much for your continued support. So we'll carry on where we left off. I'm going to do the doors for the beach houses now, and I'm just taking the sticks that I did in the last video and I'm going to glue them side by side. And the reason I'm doing this and not gluing them straight to the house is I want to make sure that they are exactly the right height. So I'm making sure that the tops line up and I'm not too fussed about the bottom, as we're going to have these hidden anyway. So I've done all 5 for 5 each of my beach houses, and I'm just going to place them in the center and glue them down. And like I said, the bottom is hidden underneath the bottom stick of the beach house, so you're not going to see that. And then once I've done that, I'm going to start to work on painting some of the starfish that I got from Poundland. You get 10 in a pack, and then some of the shells that I've got that I bought from another shop that I paid $1.50 a pack for. And I'm going to do these in a light grey to match the door, and the blue that I used, and some orange as well. I'm not going to do any white, I'm going to leave white ones. I'm going to do some stars. I'm going to do 3 blue and 2 grey, and I'm just going to do a couple of coats on all the shells and the stars as well. What I did notice was these stars were quite difficult to paint because there's no way that you can hold them because they're not flat. So it was a bit of a fun time trying to do them. I did 2 coats in blue and 3 in the light grey just to make sure that they were covered. And I've let them dry, so they're all dry now, and I'm going to pop them to one side until later on. I didn't do underneath the stars as I'm not going to see them, so I just did one side. So now I'm going to work on some bunting for the houses, and I painted a sheet of A4 card in the orange that I did the shells. I had some left, and all I'm going to do is take a piece of string and hold it in place and then use that to cut a size of piece of string so I know that it fits. And then I'm going to make the little bits of bunting. So I'm going to measure some 1 centimeter squares on the back of the card. And once I drew a 1 centimeter line, I'm just going to measure the centimeters and then draw down the card to make our squares. So I've got a few 1 centimeter squares, and then now I'm going to measure 1/2 centimeter in each of the squares, and then I'm going to join the edge of the square up to where we've just put the dot to make a small triangle, like so. And I'm going to do that in each of the 1 centimeter squares, and I'm going to cut these out, and these are going to be our little triangles for our bunting. So I've done a couple, and now I'm just going to show you what I'm going to do with them. So I've took 1 length of the string that's the width of the beach house, and I'm just going to take 1 piece of my little triangles, and I'm just going to glue it across the top and then stick it to the string. You could just stick the triangles to the beach house, but I didn't want them to lay flat. I wanted them to be you know, look like they were hanging, so this is why I've done it like this. I'm going to do the same for each of the beach houses, and then I will glue them in place. I left just about 1/2 centimeter in between each triangle. Like so. And I just continued till I got to the end of the string. And now I'm just going to glue that in place. I'm just going to glue the last triangle on each side to the house and then let the rest hang. So now I'm going to pop some bottoms of tea candle holders, like so, just normal candles. I've took them off and I'm going to glue these in place so that I can put my battery candles in, and I'm just going to have 3. So I'm going to miss a section, then have a candle, miss a section, have another candle, and this is where I'm going to place them. And I'm just using a bit of hot glue to glue them in place. Now, originally I was planning on having stones in the bottom of this, but then I decided I wanted some sand. I couldn't get sand anywhere other than the pet shop. I paid $5.99 for a 5-bag kilo, but I'm going to be using some sand when I do my coastal village. This isn't going to be part of my coastal scene, so I will need more sand, so I'm quite happy that I've now got it. So what I'm going to do is, my idea is I'm going to cover the bottom of the candle holder in sand, but there's going to be a few things we'll need to do first before we do that. So because obviously we've made the base out of lollipop sticks, there are gaps around the edges, so I'm just going to use the glue gun and I'm going to go all the way around the inside, around the edge, and fill the gaps so that the sand will not come out. You could cut a piece of cardboard and pop it in the bottom of the base if you wanted, and then put the sand on, but I just wanted my candles to be embedded in the sand. I didn't want them to be sat on top, so this is the reason why I've done it this way. It would be a lot easier to just cut a piece of cardboard that would fit in the inside and then stick that down and then glue your sand using PVA glue to the top of it so the sand's not loose, but I did it this way. So I'm just going to go all the way around the inside and let it dry. And then now I'm going to do a base, but I'm going to do it for underneath instead of above. So I'm just measuring the width of the base and then the length of the base. And I'm just going to use an old cardboard box to cut my sections that I need. I think it was about 31 inches and a half, and about 3 inches wide. So I'm just going to cut off some sections using a Stanley knife or craft knife, measure it out, and then I'm going to glue them together. So I've measured it and I've just used some sellotape to put the pieces together till I got the length that I wanted. And I'm just going to balance the candle holder on my knee, and I'm just going to glue it down with some hot glue. I'm just going to trim it slightly so it's not hanging over the edge. And then I'm going to glue it down. So it's glued to the bottom, and now to hide the edge of the cardboard, I'm going to add some more of the rope that was left from the garland in part 1. Again, just using some hot glue. And going all the way across the front of the candle holder. And now we can add the sand. So I'm just using the top of a ice cream tub from last night. So I'm just using that to pop the sand in. And I'm just going to pop a bit in, shake it and fill it until I'm happy with it. And the reason I decided to use sand instead of the rocks, it didn't look right with the rocks, so I went with the sand. And then now we can start to add our little starfish that we've painted and our shells, and just pop them roughly whereabouts you want them. I did use a few small rocks as well. And then we can get on to the last thing. So I picked up some of this super soft clay from B&M's. It was $2.99 for a bag, and I thought I'd give it a go and see if I can make some balloons. I'm still not 100% sure if I like the balloons or not, but all I'm doing is taking a small section and just rolling it. And this is air drying clay, so it takes 24 hours to dry. I'm going to do a few in orange, some in white, and then I'm going to try and mix a lighter colour with the blue and the white and see how that looks. And all I'm going to do is take a few sections of wire, and then once I've got the shape that I want, I'm just going to make a hole at the bottom where the wire is going to go when they're dry. I ended up doing 2 bunches of balloons, 5 in each bunch, and once I've done that, I'm going to let them dry for 24 hours and I'll be back. So I'm back, and yeah, they're dry, and now I'm just going to finish them off. So I'm just going to cut small sections of wire. Add a little bit of glue to the end. And then pop it into our balloon. And I'm going to do that with all 10. And then I'm going to make my bunches. So I'm just going to hold them roughly where I want them. And now I'm going to take them one by one and glue them together, leaving about 5 inches from the top of the bottom of the balloons to where I'm gluing them. And I'll do exactly the same with the other bunch of balloons. And then once they're all glued into place, I'm just going to use the wire cutters to cut underneath where we've glued them. So they're all stuck together, and I'm just going to use the wire cutters, cut underneath the glue, and then pull off the ends of the wire that we don't need. And then they're ready to glue to the fencing around the base of our candle holder. So I'm going to glue them on, and then I'll see what it looks like finished. So here it is. I'm over the moon with it. I absolutely love how it looks. I'm still not sure about the balloons, but I wanted to try the clay from B&M's to see what it was like. But yeah, I really like it. I'm so happy with how it's turned out. I absolutely love the colours, and yeah, it's making me look forward to spring and summer. And I'm gonna get a shelf above my light, just underneath that picture frame, and this is where it's gonna go. So it's gonna be in my living room. So I hope you've enjoyed the video, guys. I will see you on Wednesday for my next craft video. Take care for now, and I'll see you all soon. Bye bye.